Hi, Tim Fairfield, Keysight Technologies. I had a question regarding the Valiframe remote programming. And is there a method in the class that can allow us to save only the JTOL measurements? So I'm hoping I'm going to answer this correctly. Let's go look at the Bitify documentation. First of all, let's look at what we're talking about. Let's say we've selected the jitter tolerance test here. I'm assuming that you wanted only to save that, even though you have other tests selected like this and this. I'm hoping that's the question, but I'll show you that. And if we need more follow-up, we can do that. So in the remote programming guide from Bitify, the remote programming interface for Keysight N5991, you have a couple of procedures that bring you back results. So they're really handled as callbacks. So that means that when the test is done, let's actually jump back there. Let's bring this back. It says run procedures, methods execute the procedures handed in as a procedures parameter. And then all methods that have a parameter out string, meaning a result, the parameter contains the XML return strings of what was just executed. Knowing that, I've got a list of tests here and I'm only going to run one. So I've got the 32 gig RX jitter tolerance. So that's the ID for that test. I've loaded some other ones in, but down here, I'm only going to run, let's get down here, the Valiframe run procedure ID 0. When I run that, it's eventually going to go back and have the event handler called. So let's go see what that is. So let's go find handler. And then there's a bunch of them. Event handler. So the procedure completed is what we're looking for, this event handler. So that's what's going to get called. And then there's only a couple of those. Let's go up. Procedure completed. Oh, I actually have to just go grab that. We'll see. Fine. Let's go up. Procedure completed. So when that test is run, the procedure ID will come back and the result will come back. And the only way you can stop and breakpoint on this, you can't use one of these breakpoints within Pycharm. You actually have to include PDB, Python debugger, so that you can stop here and see what's going on. What you can do is match that procedure ID. You could write some code in here and then see the results. And this is part of my example code, and I have some parameters. It'll show XML, not do you want to see the results. So that'll bring us in here and we can see that. So let me just execute this. You get a better idea of how this actually works. But I think that if you just want to filter out and only show one thing in your results file, you can go store this elsewhere when it matches your procedure ID that you're after. That's one way to go about it. I don't think there's a specific call after a test has been run to pull a result back. I'm going to ask Bitify about that, but for now, this is what I would recommend. So let me run that. Let's run this thing. So here we go. This is running. Then we're going to wait until we hit the breakpoint, and then we can look at we can just continue and step through. Or I can just stop there and see what's going on. So it goes through the parameters. This is a very verbose demo example. So it'll stop and it's going to tell you how to connect your DUT and things like that. There we go. So now it's running the fake data because I'm offline. And now PDB has brought us to the breakpoint at line 137, which is right here. So we can, I believe, I'm not that big of an expert on PDB, but if we can see XML result, let's see, type that. Oh, there you go. So this is the XML result right there that came back. Okay. So these are all the parameters. These are all the values. This is the data right here, XML result. And then we type procedure ID, procedure. So it's interactive now. ID. Get that. So that's the procedure ID. So that's where you get the data. So I would do a checkpoint there and say, if it equals the procedure ID I care about, which is the JTOL, save that somewhere else as well, so that you can just get those as you are making your test run. I can continue if I want. And this, the way I've got it set up, do you want to see the result? Okay. So this will if you save it, and it'll store that to the results file, and there you go. These are all your results here. And that's, if you're running offline, it'll create some fictitious data that helps you debug. So I hope that helps and gives you a little insight into how to get the results specific to what you're looking for.